Hello, next new video. Today we're gonna take a look at my 100% Greninja in the Open Master League. And honestly, I've never really thought of using this Pokemon in a serious manner, but today is a different day because with the release of Necrozmas and the two forms now worldwide, the only Pokemon that kinda completely hardwalls both Necrozmas moveset is kinda like Greninja. Of course, any other water and dark type Pokemon would also do the job, but Greninja is just the best currently as far as I know. And so we are going to have quite some fun here with this Pokemon today, beating Mewtwo's, beating Necrozmas, and also going positive with it, which is quite ridiculous, I would say, because yeah, you would not really expect for Greninja to go positive in the Open Master League, but right now it's such an interesting meta breaker that if you want to have some fun with this Pokemon, feel free to do so, because it's actually quite decent. Otherwise, we're going to have a team here that's quite similar to the one that I did for the Necrozma video as well, for the Necrozma, of course, that is the Dusk main variant. But yeah, basically just changed the Greninja in the back, which is quite a cool team though. The core of Dusk main and the Palkia origin is quite common as well. We're gonna see it here today. Again, of course, if you have Spatial Rent on your Palkia, this would be definitely the way to go. We do not, and Niantic did not allow us ever yet to get this move onto the Pokemon. But anyway, we want to be able to catch a move here onto our Palkia. You kind of want to try to go into your Palkia eventually, as you kind of want to bait out potential answers also to Greninja. A lot of time we got out the Necrozmas, which is kind of annoying because Greninja is going to be able to guarantee a win against both Necrozmas in the two-shield scenario. There's nothing they can do, which is quite hilarious, as Greninja is only getting to 3000 CP while the Necrozma is standing there at 4600, which is, yeah, quite a lot more. Anyway, we're going to see also the power of the Sunsteel Strike. Like, this was resisted damage and still did so much damage here against us here, as we're gonna try to go for Night Slash. This is weirdly enough a CMP tie with the opponent. They decided to go for another Sunsteel Strike. It would do quite a lot of damage against our Greninja as well, around like 70% I think, even though it's resisted. And so we can now go for the full farm down. We can go for another charge move. Is Greninja going to be able to beat the entire team? Let's find out. We're gonna get the boost here, and they have a Landorus in the back, and so they forfeit against our Greninja. Next opponent, we're going to have a great lead here as I swap on to the Necrozma. I can go ahead and go for a Night Slash now. This is looking quite juicy, as this Night Slash is coming through, getting a ton of damage onto the opponent, and we try to CMP tie, which did not work out, and we let the move go through, which is going to be the Moongas Beam, and we're actually going to lose this matchup. Something I just didn't really know is that, or like didn't really expect, is that even a Moongas Beam is doing so much damage against us as a Greninja because we're just not really bulky. I wonder if there's going to be a better water and yeah, dark type Pokemon available that would also have a little bit more bulk than Greninja. I know that there's like the Hisuian variant of Stamarot, which I think has a typing, which is a little bit bulkier for sure, but it's still not really ideal. So I feel like Greninja is still kind of the best Pokemon to use for that kind of reason, but you kind of really need to use shields on your Greninja in order to align yourself. Anyway, we're going to be able to go for another Draco Meteor here against the opponent. They're going to have a Snorlax in the back, and honestly, Snorlax is one of my favorite Pokemon before already, and I feel like this is going to be making this Pokemon even better now with the release of Necrozma. And so definitely Snorlax is a Pokemon you kind of have to take a look at as well, because I think it has quite a lot of play in the current meta. Next opponent, let's take a look at this one. We're going to have here the Necrozma in the lead, both Necrozmas actually, and this is going to be quite interesting as well. Here we will see that our Necrozma is going to win this matchup, even though they have a Stab Shadow Claw. They are double weak against Shadow Claw, while we're only single weak, and this is going to be quite an important one. As you're going to see here as well, we can still go for some Dark Pulses against the opponent's Gyarados, and we're going to take a little bit of a risk here. As you're gonna see, the opponent can of course go for the Crunch, which is gonna do quite some nice damage and does not get the defense stop, which is quite nice. But they can go for another charge move, and like the difference between Awkward Tail and Crunch is very, very small. But luckily it was just the Awkward Tail, and so we can go ahead and go for the full farm down. And this is going to be able to now get us to some energy, I guess, against the Rayquaza. That is not ideal. Rayquaza is not what we want to face with our Greninja. We decide to use a shield here, maybe a little bit of a waste, but I think it's still going to be fine. Breaking Swipe is going to get the attack drop onto us, and this is actually quite important, because now all of a sudden they can farm me down and I cannot farm them down, and this is going to change some things, as I now have to let the move go through here. It is going to be that Moongeist Beam doing a ton of damage. We can go up to at least 2 Night Slashes here, which might help us out a little bit, as we are going to be able to go ahead and go for that knockout. We can still try to go for another one. Really would have liked to have a boost here or something like this, but it's now down to our Necrozma. Can we still win this one? It's going to be quite a difficult one as well. Let's see, can we still reach the move? We can, and we're going to be able to win this battle. Goodbye there. Next opponent coming through, we're going to have Necrozma against Zygarde. This is going to be a quite neutral one, I would say. A lot of times they just go straight for the crunch, which you are going to be able to take, but also you're going to be able to now go for the Sunsteel Strike, which is going to do quite a lot of damage, even against the opponent's Zygarde complete form. It's still going to do quite a lot, as we will see here. The opponent deciding to stay in here still and knows they stop out into their Xerneas, which is going to be quite an awkward place for us, as our Palkia has to go for those awkward tails. This is going to be quite a day. We are going to try to go for another one here, and we're going to be able to at least do this here as well. This is going to be able to now get them quite low, but not going to put us into a range where we can just knock them out. So we decided to let the move go through, otherwise they most likely would have been able to outspeed me. And so we are gonna go for the full farm down now. This is our only way of doing something here. Close combat is coming through, and we're gonna be able to go for the full farm down, as we will see the Zygarde coming back in. They very likely have a charge move stop they're gonna try to go for, most likely the crunch. So we decide to use a shield here. I'm not too sure if this is going to be the right call or not, but we swap out straight away, and they're going to have their own Necrozma in the back. And again, this matchup is quite nice if you have a shield. We don't have a shield, and so we can go for 2 Night Slashes, but I'm fairly certain that's basically all we can go for, because they should knock me out with a Sunsteel Strike. Some of them actually are running Outrage as well, which is going to be something that we of course not going to be able to resist. But yeah, as you're gonna see, yeah, Sunsteel Strike is going to be enough. We have quite a lot of energy here, but like, is it going to help us out against that Zygarde? I doubt it. Let's see if we can still do something here though. Dark Bolt's coming through, going to be able to get the shield, and actually we can go for a CMP type victory here with our Necrozma. Goodbye there, and we can move on to the next opponent. Palkia on the lead. That's going to be a matchup again where a lot of people are going to now expect Outrage on that Necrozma, so they're going to invest a shield usually on the first move. We can let the move go through. It's going to be the Awkward Tail cost from the opponent, which we can easily take and go for another Dark Pulse afterwards. This is going to be able to hopefully get the shield. It does not get the shield, but we're gonna be able to get them kind of low, and we can swap out onto their Awkward Tail into our own, what's called Palkia here. And so it's going to be a double resisted move. They go back into their own Necrozma. Like, that's the most common core right now, is definitely Necrozma plus Palkia Origin. I see this core all the time. Very good core for sure, but interestingly enough, like, this matchup is not even that great for the Necrozma. And so here we're gonna be able to take the Dark Pulse. We can still go for another Awkward Tail and very likely just force a shield from the opponent, as we could swap. Actually, we're gonna knock them out, which is quite nice for us. We have to hope there's going to be something in the back that we can deal with our Greninja. We try to go for the full farm down here. It is not going to work out, but we can catch the move onto our Greninja. It's going to be that Awkward Tail, going to be resisted, still doing quite a lot of damage, but it's going to be that Landorus in the back, and so we can't go for the Night Slash bait, as they're going to be forced to go for the Sensia Storm to try to drop my attack, and I should just go straight now for those Hydro Cannons, to be fair. But let's see what I'm gonna do here. I decided to go ahead and go for another bait, and this is quite risky and kinda unnecessary as well. As the opponent gonna call this one, we're still gonna put them into range where the Hydro Cannon is going to be enough to knock them out, but they can go for more and more nerfs, like debuffs onto us, as we're gonna be able to go for the Hydro Cannon, trying to knock them out here. This is going to be able to get the shield. We can swap out, go for the Dark Pulse, and with this combo play, I think that Landorus is going to go down here, and so we're going to be able to win this battle as Palkia goes down as well. Next opponent, we're going to have a horrible lead. We can swap out straight away into our Palkia as they stay in and swap out into their own Dialga. This is something that definitely happened quite often as well. Dialga could be also a very solid safe swap for this team, But like the issue with the Dialga Say Swap is if you're going to encounter Landorus in the lead, you're kind of screwed. And so like Palkia is kind of the only way to go. Mewtwo would be a little bit more of a middle ground play again, but then they're going to have 2 Psychic type Pokemon, which can be an issue against like Dark type Pokemon. So I feel like Palkia is the best Say Swap as well for this team. I don't think there's a better option really. But as you're going to see here, we're going to be able to go for Dark Pulse against the Dialga, have no shield advantage, which is kind of cool. And we will see also the swap straight away from us into our own Greninja to try to counter that Landorus. We're going to use the shield here onto that Sensia Storm, doing around like 60% usually. They swap out and catch the move onto the Necrozmas, and that is kinda unfortunate because of course we would have the super effective Night Slash, and now they catch the move onto a Pokemon which I really would have liked to just hit with some super effective damage. It's quite unfortunate. We also haven't got a boost yet in this video as we can let the move go through from the opponent. We kind of have to hope now at this point that we are going to be able to go for the full farm down, and we are not going to be able to do so. And so because they were able to catch the move, they're going to be able to win this battle. Anything else would have been fine for us, but sadly, great catch from the opponent. Next opponent can be through and have the Ho-Oh in the lead. We can swap out straight away into our Palkia as we go ahead and go into the Dialga. We can try to reach for the Draco Media. Of course, we're always going to go for a bait here, as this is going to be a safe play to get them a little bit lower. And getting them a little bit lower with an Awkward Tail is actually quite important to put them into Shadow Claw downrange for our Necrozma form. And so what we decided to do here is we decided to go into our Necrozma. I can let them move go through if I want to. And I still decided to use a shield here though, because my win con is actually not really my Greninja. Greninja is too much of a liability in the Open Master League to just rely on it completely, because it's cool against Ho-Oh here now, which we can actually use now the Hydro Canal against as well. But there are so many Pokemon that just hard walls this Pokemon, so you have to be a little bit careful. And so we decided to use a shield here now though, trying to keep this one around. And we have to see there's something in the back that we can deal with, and it's going to be the Necrozma. And so Greninja is just going to have a field day here. We're going to be able to go for one charge move, get a lot of damage onto them. We can go for another one. Do we get a boost finally? We really would like to see a boost here on our Greninja. This is going to be able to get the knockout, no boost coming in, but they're going to be forced to go for their own charge move. And like this, they should be kind of energy dry. And energy dryness is going to be quite lovely, because our only play is to hope that they can only need 2 more fast moves to get to another Dark Pulse, and this is exactly what's going to happen now. And so we are going to be able to win this battle. A good game there. Greninja actually really was good there. Next opponent, Zacian in lead. Quite a nice lead for us. They could stay in and go for like a charge move, but they swap out into the Landorus, and I make a huge mistake by swapping to my Greninja. Should have went ahead and went to my Palkia. This happened quite often, and this is like something just like, if you play so many battles of Go Battle League, it's just kind of automatic thing. If your closer is good against the opponent's Say Swap, you usually just go into the closer instead of your own Say Swap, because your Say Swap is usually the safer Pokemon for you to have against whatever's in the back anyway, because it has more neutral play against Pokemon, while your closer is usually more dominant in certain matchups and a little bit worse in other matchups. And so here I was using 2 shields sadly, and we are very debuffed, and we're going to be forced to go for Hydrocan before we can swap out of here. And so we're in a very difficult spot, to be fair. I decided to go for bait here, even though I don't even have the charge move where like the opponent just uses a shield here. Exactly. They are very likely just going to try to go for a double close combat, I would imagine. And I should be able to even reach another Dark Pulse here in time, which is going to be quite nice for me. And honestly, we're not even in such a bad spot, because like this, the opponent might be into a range now where we can even do something with our Palkia. We might have to catch a move, but like that's going to be fine. But they swap out into their own Necrozma, which we should be able to beat if we're going to be able to hit this Night Slash. And yes, we can. And we have the Awkward Tail stored, and we win a CMP tie against anything. And so we are going to be in a very solid spot here. But honestly, there's one thing that kind of worries me, and that's like the Zacian is not running close combat, but also the play rough. And so yeah, this might have been a mistake to not throw the Awkward Tail, and it was a mistake to not throw the Awkward Tail. Actually going to check now on the side real quick on how much the Awkward Tail would have done. Is he going to encounter a great lead here of Dialga. They stay in here as well, which is quite a nice one for us, as the opponent is going to go for a charge move. We still use a shield here with the Draco. It does quite a lot of damage. It is going to be the Iron Head, so great bait from the opponent. This is going to be able to, yeah, actually, by the way, the Awkward Tail before very likely would have knocked out the opponent, so that's a huge mistake by me to lose a last battle. But yeah, as you can see here, we're gonna have another Landorus against us. We can take a hit. Sensei Storm doesn't run 60% damage, as we saw before as well, or like as I said before as well, as we are going to be able to reach that Hydro Cannon, going to get a shield from the opponent, and we can still reach another one in time, which is going to force maybe another shield, maybe a lot of damage. Let's find out. It's going to get the final shield from the opponent, and even though the opponent is going to try to go for the Bloodshot down, we are still going to get to that Hydro Cannon, knock out the Landorus with all the energy, and with this, our Greninja was just able to align itself and allow us to win this battle. Good game there, nothing else in the back can really deal with us. We can go for the Dark Port. That's going to be it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.